Tonight, I broke up with my boyfriend because he kept joking about murdering me. During our first few weeks of dating, he joked too much for comfort that he was going to kill me and dismember me and dispose of my body. Maybe out of context, I'm being dramatic. He's very sarcastic and he has a dark sense of humor, but to me it wasn't funny and it caused me anxiety because I know the statistics. I talked to him about this. I told him repeatedly, stop joking about killing me. He kept on with the jokes, until I finally told him that those jokes literally scare me. Finally, he apologized and seemed to feel bad that his jokes made me scared of him. Tonight, we were over 3 hours late to meet with his brother to play games and watch movies and eat dinner. When I was talking to him about us being late, I noticed he sighed deeply, clenched his fist, and looked down at it, as if he were making the conscious choice not to punch me. Then as I was saying goodbye to his brother, he comes into the room and says, "She should be saying her permanent goodbyes." I asked him, "Excuse me?" He said it was a joke. I asked, "How is it funny? What's the punchline? Please explain to me how that was supposed to be funny." And he couldn't answer. I didn't want to get in the car with him. I walked off, and thankfully my roommate picked me up and drove me home. He called later. I told him I'm done. He's a good man other than for the jokes about killing me, but we talked about it and agreed that he wouldn't joke about killing me anymore. But then he did it again tonight and doubled down it was just a joke and that actually I'm the problem. I started telling him, again, about how often women are killed by their husbands and boyfriends, and that's why jokes bother me so much, but he interrupted just to say, "F you!" So I hung up and blocked him. All of this really sucks because my roommates say I should just talk it out with him and give him another chance. They can tell I really like him and he really likes me. But I already did that. I thought we were past the jokes. Then he did it again tonight while he was angry with me, and it caused me this awful feeling in my gut that I needed to not get in the car with him and to get away from him. I've had boyfriends and male friends in the past. None of them have ever made jokes about murdering or dismembering me, especially multiple times after I told them to stop. Have you had friends or boyfriends that make jokes like this? Where is the humor in it? What would you do in this situation? Update. Next day. Thank you everyone for your overwhelming support. Also, thank you for the important links and resources in the comments. I've learned a lot and shared them with all my friends. I love this sub. I haven't heard from him and he hasn't caused any trouble since the breakup. If anything comes up, I'll update this post. Top comments. User 1. You've already given him chances. He agreed to change, then he broke his word. So not only is he verbally abusive and potentially violent, he also breaks his word. You did nothing wrong. There is no humor in what he said, and abusers frequently excuse their abuse in the 2 ways he did. First, they say it was a joke. If you don't accept that, then they try to blame it on you. You don't want to become a statistic. There are plenty of men out there who will never threaten to kill you, and you have done exactly the right thing. Don't feel bad about anything you've done. My one piece of old woman advice to you is to be very strict about dating men when it comes to threats. Joke or not, if a man threatens you in any way, tell him that if he does it again, it's over. Don't tolerate any kind of threats or violence ever. If the man is actually a danger, he will see tolerance as a sign that he can violate your boundaries without consequences. User 2. Just remember, there's a lot of murdered women that once said, "He'd never do that to me." User 3. When I was a teenager, I would go driving around country roads around our smallish town with male buddies from school. I'm a woman. And one night, my really good friend thought it was a good idea to make a joke about chopping me up with an axe. I got really terrified because it was just overwhelming and scary of a thing to hear, and I started to cry. The immediate regret was obvious in my friend's eyes, and he genuinely looked mortified for having scared me so bad. He started apologizing and saying it was such a stupid joke and reassured me. In the moments after making his stupid attempt at humor and seeing the impact it had, he felt remorse and wanted to correct his behavior. Your ex did not do this, or if he did, he immediately repeated the scary behavior again anyways. My friend never made a joke like that again. Men who actually care about us will respond empathetically to our fear response and will want to do whatever it takes to ensure that we feel safe around them, especially if it's as simple as refraining from making dumb jokes. I hope you never have to see this creep again, and good for you for sticking up for yourself. Update. 11 months later. Thankfully, I have moved across state since then and I have not seen him since. The last time I spoke to him, over the phone, I made it very clear several times. Me. You promised you'd stop making jokes about murdering me, but then you did it again. You realize the greatest threat for women is being murdered by their boyfriends or husbands? They are most likely to be killed by men they know. Him. Ah, F you! So I hung up. I ghosted him after that, blocked him on everything, and alerted my employer if he showed up that he was a threat. However, he sent me an email in an attempt to, I don't know. I'll leave you to draw conclusions because I can't really make sense of it. I'm sorry if I quoted it incorrectly, I'm on mobile. The email he sent me. Dear my name. He got my name wrong multiple times and it became a joke, which is what he referred to here. I don't really know how to go about saying that I am empathetic, as I'm a me-pathetic mess, but I do feel, I can understand, and I have recognized. My actions have consequences, clearly. I thought I was being reasonable. I gave you time and space. I wasn't sure how long I needed to wait or if I should just do nothing, but I didn't know you had even blocked me until today, as I had not called and only texted that first day expecting nothing back. Yet now I understand. I should have known. I tried to call you tonight though, despite my better judgment. That's when it hit me hard. It's been almost 2 weeks. I know you don't want to be in a relationship with me, but I wanted to end this civilly. I could hope at least. On terms that we could both live on. For me, since I didn't have a choice. That terrible night was booze-ridden, and unfortunately for me, the end of us. I didn't get any chance, but I made my choices and I was cut out of you. Like the cancer I became, regardless of how much I remember, due to my memories being cut down by Irish whiskey and I, hazed focused. But you ghosted me. Now I know how that feels, as I've done that to others. I deserve this. It's interesting because you mentioned to me that I never had to change my number in my last relationship over 5 years ago, because all I needed to do was block them. Dang, history not only repeats itself, but it can be so effing ironic. I lost one of my best friends. I lost you. I've been hurting. This hurts even more. When I realized you don't even want to communicate me, this hurts even more. When I realized you don't even want to communicate with me, I would ask why, but I know it's because you hate me, what you think of me, what you think I am. Who likes Andrew Tate? Nobody. I embody that nobody. I am hate. I am Tate. I obviously have a lot of growing up to do. I was not aware of just how much. I do not regret you or the experiences I shared, which were awesome and different than all the treasures I had experienced with another soul. We had so much in common, and yet the few things we didn't shaped itself into a shadow that blocked our light, your light. I regret not realizing that. Perhaps I was just not ready. You're so beautiful and awesome, and I hate hurting you in any way, especially since you deserve so much love, and instead I only gave you fear. You only, however, gave me happiness. It made me feel wanted, so much so that it blindsided me. I haven't been that happy in a long time. Maybe that's why I fell for you so hard and so fast, as I had been in the dark for so long, for years. And your essence got me high as a kite. I could see the sky for once. I was finally flying. I had been grounded since I lost my wings a few years ago, and it showed. I started sinking in the sands of time, in bottles, in gates, drowned by my fears. My brother lost a friend because of me. I lost because of me. I may be a good person that does bad things, but I did a bad thing to a good person. And it scares me to think that when we do, and it will inevitably happen as it's a small town, run into each other, that you will fear me, and I will fear you. I don't want that. But I made my grave, and I suppose that's where I need to sleep now. I will not call you again, as I did tonight, as much as I want to. You can always call me, but I'm aware that is about as real as my dreams coming true. I have respected your space. I haven't tried to suffocate it or breathe your air. I just wanted to bury myself with little dignity today, considering that I must be public enemy number 1. I'm embarrassed to admit that running into your roommates or even coworkers make me feel uncomfortable. That I did. To myself and you, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I know you will find someone sooner or later who will treat you with respect and make you feel loved. I am not him. I failed, but you will have that. As much as I don't want to think of it, and you deserve it, as much as I didn't commit to that. I know you think I don't love you. You can ghost me, you cannot respond. I don't think you will anyways. Maybe you won't even read this, which is okay, but I needed to say my piece, to rest at sea. But you can't take away how I feel, or how I've ever felt. Maybe that was the problem. I was too much. You thought I was just a blimp in time anyhow, and now that blimp can finally sink through time. Thank you for all the support, guys. I love this sub. No way he will ever hear from or see me again. Now I live in a new town, a new home, and with a great man that respects and appreciates me. Some of OP's comments. Commenter. People talking about this man being sociopath or a psychopath or narcissistic, to me he sounds like a generic boy that is trying to verbalize his emotions for the first time. I don't know how old he is, but it reads like the letters my first boyfriend at 20 years old sounded, trying to be poetic and funny and failing at both, and just kind of word vomiting emotions without fully understanding them. Yeah, that's just a normal dude learning his actions have consequences for the first time. OP. He's like 40. Commenter. I'm so glad you're safe. I have wondered about you from time to time. OP. Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing great. Commenter. This reminds me of how an ex responded to me many years ago when I broke up with him. I broke up with him because I started getting this weird gut feeling that I didn't feel comfortable being alone with him, and he was getting very possessive and a bit manipulative. I even had a close family friend reach out to me to hesitantly share that she was not sure why she was worried about me being alone with him. He responded, via text, by trying every manipulation tactic in the book, from telling me he was sobbing and to please take him back, to saying I'd just been using him, was a liar, telling me he didn't know what was going on with his life. His reaction made me realize I absolutely made the right choice. OP. Thank you for sharing. It's so important to trust our instincts. Commenter. Him talking about alcohol makes it make sense. All the more reason to keep him blocked, though. If he's making those jokes like drunk, there's a non-zero chance that he actually did fantasize about killing and dismembering you or someone else. OP. Most of the time when he made the jokes, he was totally sober. Commenter. I read through your first post. The dating phase is when you get to know somebody. Take your time to do that before more commitment. He's kind of a nutcase. I doubt he ghosted anybody and he's trying to say things to make himself look better. OP. We weren't together for long. I was initially attracted to him because he was cheerful and happy, charismatic, kind, considerate, and handsome. Then the mask fell off. Commenter. Shadow that blocked our light. Your light. Am I the only one who read it as another death threat? Blocking the light with capital letters implying she will be turned off? OP, please do not lower your guards and be careful. OP. Wow, you have a great point. I had not considered that until now. Ooh, all of that is uncomfortable. It's unfortunately so true and scary for so many women. But as dark as this is, you can take the context of the joke completely out of this and it still makes sense to break up with him. Guys, if you're dating somebody and you set a boundary or say anything, not just a threat of violence or whatever, like, hey, these jokes or these things you say, it makes me feel unsafe, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and they just continue to cross the boundary, it doesn't matter what it's about, but they're crossing a line you set. And it can be difficult because friends or strangers or maybe even the person in question will chastise you and go, oh, you're being shallow, or you're being sensitive, you're being this, you're being that, you're being too picky. But if you're dating someone and trying to build a long-term relationship and a commitment to somebody, I mean, be as picky or shallow or whatever people want to call you as long as you feel safe and respected and taken care of. Now, you add the murder context back into this, yeah, run for the hills.